What is up, everyone? JD here. Hope you're doing well today. Got a new Vero engineering in to check out. Let's jump into it. All right, guys, we have the mini Nova in. You guys know how much I'm a huge fan of the full-size Nova, and reading the specs on this one, it looked like it could be kind of close for me. I am actually really glad that I checked this one out. So, like its larger counterpart, you have titanium scales with a titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip with all titanium hardware, and again, the first Vero with an actual lanyard hole or post that is built into that backspacer. You got opening pockets with a front flipper riding on bearings. Very well tuned detent. I did opt this time to go with the stone washed blade. Nice tall, thin flat grind on here, swedge out at the tip, very subtle drop point, jimping on the back for your ergos. Very well chamfered for that lock bar access. I wasn't sure with the smaller one if that would be any different, but for me, very easy access to it, and all of the means of deployment for this one work well, with it being just a skosh tight for that opening pocket with the thumb because of the larger hands, but I am able to land a 4-finger grip very comfortably. So sharing the little carve out here section with my index finger and middle finger, ring finger and pinky land perfectly back here on that section. So I took it down to the garage to do a little bit of cutting with it just to see how comfortable it was. Came with a great factory edge on this magnet cut steel. Pocket clip does sit perfectly for me so that it does not create a hot spot for me while cutting through the cardboard, and while going through the cardboard, very nice cutting performance with that geometry being thin on here. Moving through the cardboard with no issues or minimal interference, and then with the draw cut, it was fine. I wouldn't use this as a main utility blade. For me, it's just okay to occasionally use in a pinch grip, but it is going to be very nice because you do have that acute tip to get into packages to cut open when they're taped tightly shut. I really like that about this one. And then the action on the ceramic bearings that it comes with is very good. I did go ahead and throw some skiffs as soon as this one came in. And that, to me, I just, personal preference, like the action of the skiffs a little bit better, like the solidity and the pivot a little bit better. And I was a little worried about this because they don't carry that tight jimping all the way up or give you like an extra cut here. Not super aggressive, and that might be because this is the stone wash variant instead of the belt satin. I would have liked these to be a little bit tighter. I have to remember to bring my finger so that my thumb is right underneath that first cutout, and then I'm kind of rolling with it. So start of my action is up, and then I follow through, and then it's a very crispy deployment with that front flipper. Not a whole lot different here other than the size factor on it. Pocket clip goes in and out of the pocket nicely. The disengagement points are good for all means, depending on how you like to disengage. Form factor is better. The weight is better, obviously, because it is smaller. It's not going to occupy as much space in the pocket, not feel as heavy in pocket because of the reduced size. So just to show you how different it is, let's go ahead and grab a couple of size comparisons to check against the Mini Nova. All right, so we have the Militaw and the Tarkin on the table here. I wanted to get two that I would consider to be a little bit of a larger EDC, with the Tarkin being just right about the same length, it looks like, as the Militaw. Both are larger than the Mini Nova. Let's do a couple more, and then we'll grab the scale and check the weight on this one. All right, with the Mannix 2 lightweight on the table and the Quiet Carry 9 on the table, I think these hopefully help show a little bit of the size here. And it's actually a little bit closer to the 9 than I would have thought, but that actually kind of makes sense because I consider this the all-arounder as far as like best size for EDC. So a little bit smaller on the handle, but still plenty of blade and blade edge for your cutting task. Let's grab the scale and check the weight on the Mini Nova. Scale out and on. This is probably still going to have a pretty decent weight to it for its size because it does have that full titanium backspacer, and it does have a good tall blade to it. And I actually like the height, like my 9 on this, that tall height in that smaller size, make it so that ergonomically it's still really nice in hand. Yeah, so 4.2, I want to say the 9, I think, let me check. I think the 9's 4-ish ounces. Yeah, so very comparable to the 9 in my opinion. The 9 not having as much of a backspacer and probably a little bit thinner overall because it does have the contoured scales versus the flat scales that you find here on the Nova. Let me get the scale out of the way. We'll go ahead and wrap up with final thoughts and impressions. All right, everybody, time for final thoughts and impressions. You guys know my scale grade on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is the lowest score you can get, and 10 being the highest. There things that go into the score are going to be the fit and finish, price, the ergos, cutting performance, and action are all things that I take into account when I grade on these. The Nova for me personally is one of the best looking models around. I really like it and it really speaks to me. Now, the aesthetics are going to be a personal preference for a lot of folks. Some may like this, some may not. I was a big fan of the full size one, although it was a little bit heavier than almost anything else that I currently had in the collection. So I wanted to check out the mini based off, again, the specs, and seemingly that this would be still a good primary, even though it is a little bit small on the smaller end of what I like to carry. The 9 had to this point been the one that I would say would be the smallest I would carry as a primary, unless it was like a summertime carry or something to that effect, which this wouldn't be a lightweight carry compared to its larger counterpart it is. But it is certainly far from a lightweight carry at 4.2 ounces. Not heavy, but I usually carry in the summer stuff that if I'm wearing shorts, stuff that's usually under 3 ounces or so. Having said all that, I really like this one a ton. I'm actually going to be at an 8.4 on this one, which I think actually is a little bit of a higher score than I gave the full size one. And I think the reduced weight while still being fully functional at this size point is really what did this so well with this for me, I should say, as I stumble on my words. But just the build quality, the fit and the finish, the aesthetics. Now it is a little bit more of a pricier option because it is a designer knife. I do realize you're not going to be able to go out there and pick this one up for under 200 like you can with some Kaisers and Concepts. But having said all of that, I also do think that there's little things on here with the fit and finish that do make it a step above. And I also think that it is a design that stands out well enough on its own that doesn't really mirror too much else. I would say that you would definitely be able to say that with some Concepts as well. But let me know what you guys think about the Mini Nova. Do you like this one? Would you be interested in it after this review and these size comparisons? I'd love to hear from you. Not an affiliate with Vero, but I do have affiliate links down in the description. So if you're going to be doing any shopping when you use them, it helps the channel. And a special shout out to my channel members who do support this channel with their memberships as well. All right, I'm out of here. I hope all of you have a great week. Catch you on the next one. Peace.